Hello, everybody. My name is Harold Games, and welcome to episode number 6 of my NCAA Basketball Imperialism series. I got this idea from NattyKash. Make sure you check his channel out in the description. Subscribe to him, watch his versions, because he has a lot more teams than I do. I'm just simply going off what he does, basically to give you an example of what happens in Imperialism. If you have not watched my other videos, you could check them out in the playlist. But I am going to use the same example as I did last time. If North Dakota State if the wheel lands on them, if the arrow points south, they'll attack the Jackrabbits. If they succeed, then they will not only keep their land, but they will expand onto the Jackrabbits' land and eliminating the Jackrabbits from imperialism. We're slowly getting more expanded lands, but at the same time, we still have a ton of teams that have not played yet. Still a decent amount of Big Ten teams. But there is a lot of land, and like I said last episode, the biggest winner from last episode was definitely Alabama. They expanded twice, I believe. They don't have the biggest landmass, but they are expanding. Let's get right into this. Each episode, like I said, is about an hour. As we get the Washington Huskies, we go up here. We finally get a team up in the Pacific Northwest. Because this took forever, but Washington will finally get chosen. Which way will they attack? They can't attack northeast. That's going to give them Eastern Washington. So Eastern Washington against Washington, a battle of Washington. And also, if a team is not in this basketball simulator, which has happened before, and North Carolina for some reason was not on here, so that was frustrating. But if a team is not on here, then we will look at their records on the season. And if one team has a better record than another, then that team will take over. It's something that I don't like doing, but it's an alternative to this, and it's really the only way is overtime win for Eastern Washington. So Washington is in and out just like that. It was a close game all along, but Eastern Washington just took advantage at the end of it. So sorry to Washington, but you lose your land just like that. As the Red Eagles, whatever their team name is, will pick up a weird part of land of Washington, but nonetheless they pick it up. So we will have to kind of fill in all this stuff, which is going to be tedious, but we'll just do it like this, kind of fill out like a blob. And there is a little piece of it right here too. Alrighty, and then we will kind of outline. This is actually a decent chunk of land for Eastern Washington to pick up in their first opportunity. And I'm assuming they wanted to expand west before they could expand east or northeast or even southeast, because that is not an easy matchup for they go up against Gonzaga. Not an easy matchup at all. But a good start for Eastern Washington in the tournament. They will expand pretty easily after picking up their overtime win against Washington. That is a lot of black on the map now in favor of Eastern Washington. But Washington does go down. They will get eliminated from the wheel, and we're down to probably 155 teams left, something like that. Next team, though, is going to be Winthrop. So the Eagles going to have to definitely find out where they play. So Winthrop. Is this in Washington as well? No, it's in the Carolinas. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. I had some nose issues. All right, Winthrop. We're on Winthrop. They're in the Carolinas. Let's take a look at where exactly they're at. If they're even on here. I think this is the. Excuse me. I think this is them. You're the 49ers. Yeah, that's them. Alrighty, Winthrop. This is them. Who will they be attacking? The arrow says Northwest, which that's going to be against this Bulldogs team, which is Gardner Webb. So Winthrop against Gardner Webb. So another new team that we're seeing. Here we go. Winthrop. Oh, not Wilmington. Winthrop against Gardner Webb. Home court advantage to Winthrop. Can they advance on and expand their land? They can. A 4-point victory over Gardner Webb. That was a close game. Gardner Webb actually was leading quite a bit at times. Still leading pretty much, probably until like the 10-minute mark of the second half, and then Winthrop just kind of pulled away with it. Last second chance for Gardner Webb did not go, so Winthrop will expand a little bit. It's better than nothing, though. So congratulations to them for expanding into Gardner Webb's territory. You're going to start somewhere. It looks like we're going to have another yellow on yellow situation here. So I'm going to have to draw another border in there. So that's if that happens, then I just draw a border in there, like a black border, black border to separate. Black border will just kind of do this. There you go. Who is that other team? That's my question. Appalachian State, the Mountaineers. So Winthrop moves on. Gardner Webb is eliminated from the tournament, which they aren't even on here. So we'll move on, and it is going to be the Memphis Tigers. That is a pretty considerable team, pretty recognizable team, which they got to be over here. What? Are they not on? Are they not in here? Or did Murray State already beat them? Oh, that's right. Murray State beat them. That's right. Sorry. It's another team to go away. I remember. I'm going to talk about Penny Hardaway, but I remember that. All right. Instead, it's the Fordham Rams. So I'm going to have to look this up. Fordham Rams. Where do they play? They have to be in the Northeast region. Manhattan, up in New York. They're near Iona. Should we find Iona? Here's this. I think they are not. I think they've already been eliminated. Oh, no. I think it's this F team, right? Yeah, it's this F team. Okay, that's going to be tough to... Well, we're going to consider a part of this to be Fordham's land. I think that's what we said. So this is going to be considered Fordham's land too. Not Iona. So apologies to Iona if they already expanded into that land, but that's going to be considered Fordham's. They will attack. They cannot really attack to the southeast. Based off of their logo, potentially this team, but we'll spin again. There we go, Northwest, based off of the logo. This is against St. Joseph's, I believe that's what the team is called. St. John's, not St. Joseph's. St. John's, that is the team that they've won. Fordham against St. John's. This is a decent chunk of land that they could pick up with a win. And Fordham. Fordham against St. John's. This is the ST St. John's. Yeah, St. John's, home court advantage to Fordham. Another small school of region, and it'll go to Fordham by 7. So 7-point victory by Fordham. They led the entire way. It just got close at times, but St. John's was unable to expand, and St. John's run is over. They tried, but they couldn't succeed. So St. John, I apologize, but your run in this imperialism is now done. Fordham will expand a little bit. Try my best not to cut off their logo because this is a tough area to really do anything. So Fordham, they survive. They move on. St. John's is out of the tournament. I don't know if St. John's is in here. They are. St. John's Red Storm. Sorry about that, boys. You're gone. Next team to get eliminated from the tournament or not to get eliminated, but to play is the Mississippi State Bulldogs, which they are down south. We could potentially have a good game. Mississippi State, ooh, they have a ton of guys that have not played, or they have a few teams that have not played. Jackson State, Southern Miss, Northern Alabama, but they have Alabama, the big one that they could end up playing against. They have ULM, and they also have Ole Miss, who also have a decent expansion. This is their border block off with the Eurasian Cajuns, I believe. So which way will they attack? To the north, which will, from the logo, be Ole Miss. So Ole Miss against Mississippi State. This is the battle for the most land in Mississippi. So this is a big game for Mississippi State and for Ole Miss to defend their land. They worked hard to get this land. Not Missouri State, Mississippi State. Assuming, it's not Mississippi Valley State. Here we go, Mississippi State. Against Ole Miss. So Ole Miss will have to defend their land. Home court advantage for Mississippi State. And the winner is Mississippi State. They never trailed, and this is a pretty big upset because Ole Miss loses all of this land that they had. Unbelievable. And apologies to Ole Miss fans, but you are now eliminated from imperialism. This is the beauty of imperialism. One day you could do really good in a tournament. The next day you could lose all of your hard-earned land. And Mississippi State's first game is a big one, as they will control majority of Mississippi. It's so hard to distinguish what is what. Looks like a huge upset. Maybe not a huge upset, but in terms of land, that's a huge upset because you work that hard to get all that land, become a powerhouse, and then bang, you lose to probably one of your rivals in both football and basketball, potentially baseball as well. Now we can probably get rid of that black line and that black border because we have a different shade of red all around. Mississippi State, they will pick up a big victory and a big chunk of land. And they will also get a logo move because they have a huge chunk of land to take over. So let's boom up this filler so we can fill in most of their land quickly and not waste 20 minutes doing this, filling it in manually or hard like this. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I got like 6 hours of sleep because I was so excited to record more of this. So that tells you where my priorities are. They are getting this series done and completed. There we go. And what I will do is I will get rid of that black border. There's a slightly more expansion for Mississippi State, and Mississippi State will get a logo change. Make sure I can select their logo correctly. They will move up here. This will be their new logo region. One thing is we're gonna have to fill in. Oops. I'm gonna have to fill in. First of all, I'm gonna have to get rid of this. This part. And we'll have to fill in. We'll just consider this Mississippi State's land. Well, part of it will be ULM land. I'll cut off like right there. Anything next to it, that's going to be ULM land. I believe that's ULM's land. Looks like ULM's colors. There we go. There's that land. So now Mississippi State, their logo is now different, so they will be attacking based off of their logo. So they can still play Alabama easily. But now this gives them no chance to play Jackson State, but they can still attack some good regions. So we will get rid of Ole Miss. Mississippi State moves on, but Ole Miss, don't you think, or never mind. I didn't forget you, Ole Miss. And now we have the Colgate Raiders, which I'm assuming that's another New England team, but are they not going to show up on here? They got to show up on here. There you go, Colgate. Near the Syracuse Orange. I don't know why I had to look that up because they're in a tournament. Toothpaste, here they are. Colgate next to Syracuse. They could expand in the Bonnie's land. Spit an arrow. Where will they be attacking today? They will be attacking the southeast, which that'll put them against the Binghamton University Bearcats. So I think that's their name, yeah, Binghamton. So Colgate against Binghamton. This will be easy to find. Colgate and then Binghamton. It's another high letter for New England team. Here we go, Binghamton submits. That was a quick simulation, and Colgate does win by 5 over the Bearcats in overtime. So this was a close game all throughout. Binghamton actually had the lead, but then they gave it up, and then Colgate, look at this. They all of a sudden just stormed off with it. A 5-point win for Colgate over the Bearcats. And that's a decent chunk of land to pick up to start their run for imperialism. Congrats to Colgate. Apologies to Binghamton. Your run has come to an end. And for Colgate, you now have an opportunity to play against Penn State and gather Penn State's land if we land on Colgate again before Penn State either eliminates them or gets eliminated themselves. Excited to see that matchup happens. Congrats to Colgate. They are a tournament team this year, I believe. If I remember correctly. I think they're like a 15th seed though, so I don't think they will do much damage. There we go. Colgate, they survive and they move on. They're good. They got a little bit of a chunk of land. So the next team, first of all, we got to get rid of Binghamton. Make sure that they don't show up again. Binghamton Bearcats. And let's check out the new team. Who will be on here? UCF Knights. Also, I don't think I shouted NattyKash out, but I got this idea from him. UCF is already eliminated, but I got this idea from him. So make sure you check out his channel. This is his channel, but it'll be linked in the description down below. Northwestern, my team, is hopefully not going to disappoint in the first game. So they have Milwaukee to the north, UIC to the south, Purdue Fort Wayne to the east, and Notre Dame to the southeast. Northern Illinois technically can play Valpo if the arrow based off the center of the logo. So they technically can play Valpo. We're not gonna color in the lakes. We'll keep them off. But Northwestern, we're going to the northeast, which is going to be Milwaukee because they technically cover up. So Milwaukee against Northwestern. Please, Northwestern, win this game. They had a surprising season after being projected finish near dead last or probably last. But they get second in the conference. They go 4-1 against top 25 teams. Let me make sure it's Milwaukee they have to play against. Yeah, Milwaukee. Hopefully Northwestern can win because I don't want to cry. Milwaukee. Northwestern. They won by 1. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness. But jeez. Don't scare me like that. In seven simulations, this is the one simulation. They lost once in one simulation. This was the one simulation that was close, it seemed like. Jeez, Northwestern, do not scare me like that again. Oof. The purple lives on, baby. So they begin their slow expansion. We will just delete Milwaukee's logo from the white. We won't have to color it in. We can just delete it. But this does put Northwestern in a vulnerable spot against Marquette, who is a great basketball team this year. But Northwestern also gets this county east into Michigan, which now leaves them with an opportunity to play against Purdue Fort Wayne. So this is a little bit weird geography based off of the map, but it is going to work out like this. And if for some reason deleting the logo makes it like a gray background, like sometimes in Photoshop when it happens, and I'll just Control-Z it and fill in or replace the logo with just white. Shouldn't have to because I deleted Alaska and it was fine. because Alaska's on white, but we will see. But Northwestern, the beautiful purple, lives on, and Milwaukee's logo has been destroyed. And we will just fill in. Oh, hold on. No, stop it. Not that. There we go. Beautiful logo is gone. Oh, hold on. Control Z it. Rid of the bottom, and then we will lower the thickness so I can easily get rid of it. There we go. So Milwaukee is gone. Northwestern survives. Thank goodness. Milwaukee, they are not in here, so that's okay. Next team is American University Eagles. I thought Appalachian State was going to be there. Now, I don't know if American has already been eliminated. I know they're in the New England region. Let me look up where they are at again. American University. Here. They're next to Maryland. Which, has Maryland already been eliminated? Maryland might have already been eliminated. Well, I don't see American University, so I think American is done. Didn't realize Maryland was already out. Wow. I guess Penn State must have taken over. Or George Mason, they might have actually, or the Mason Patriots, they might have actually taken over because they actually expanded quite a bit. Same thing with VCU. So yeah, American is out. The next team is actually going to be the San Diego State Aztecs, which we're going completely to the opposite coast for a team that is down here, San Diego State. And they cannot attack south, but they can. They can attack Hawaii if they need to. So if they go south, then they will attack Hawaii, which southwest does not give them anything, so we will have to respin. They get northeast, but this is going to be UC. I'm considering this UCLA. That's what I'm considering this logo because I cannot figure out what logo that is. Because if you go to this map, there is no logo that has the giant UC on it. Oh, it might be UC Riverside. Well, I'm dumb. So there's no UCLA, but there's UC Riverside. Alrighty. So UCLA is not a thing. Oop, that is not what I want to do. UCLA is... Okay, so... Okay. UC Riverside is going up against San Diego State. First of all, we got to put San Diego State. So I apologize for not realizing that is UC Riverside, not UCLA. And I apologize for not having UCLA in this. That is my fault. I should have done better in editing. San Diego State does take actually a ton of land, actually. That is a ton of land to take over. They actually expand into Arizona and Nevada after one game. So apologies to UCLA fans and to UC Riverside fans for now losing this game. Now losing their land. UC Riverside has now been eliminated, and this is pretty good. This is a good start for the Aztecs, getting a big chunk of land, but this is going to put a huge target on them. And based off of their logo, will have a tough time. We got the same color of red, so we're going to have to put a black border right there. This is going to give them a tough time to defend their land if they cannot win the game. I believe they made the tournament in real life. San Diego, the Aztecs do live on after their first opportunity to gain some land, and UC Riverside unable. I believe they only played once because they already had a big area of land to start out with, which I originally thought was UCLA, which was my fault again. So I will get rid of UCLA on the wheel and UC Riverside, which will get rid of two teams. But first, I'm going to draw this black border right there. There we go. So that way I don't have to worry about any issues. There we go. And I'll kind of make a sticker. So now we can fill this in faster. So, again, apologies to I just drew over to my border. That's okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah, again, apologies. That was my fault. I should have looked better. I thought that was UCLA, even though it wasn't the UCLA logo. Jeez. I thought maybe they got a new logo and I just wasn't paying attention to college basketball as much as I should have. But no, it turns out it's a different team. So this is going to be embarrassing when this video goes up. When the video goes up that has UC Riverside winning, because if people watch it, they're going to be like, that's UC Riverside, not UCLA. So really that could, it doesn't matter at this point, but UC Riverside did get some free land when they shouldn't potentially have. So San Diego State does move on. They take control of Southern California and a decent chunk of Southern Nevada and Northwestern Arizona. Let me change this border again. There we go. That's a big enough border. If you look at this, there's a lot of land taken up in this Southern California region. But we need to get rid of UC Riverside and UCLA at once. So UC Riverside are not on here. UCLA is, though, so we got to get rid of UCLA. So next team to fight for land is going to be the Mississippi State Bulldogs again, and they earned a ton of land, I believe, last episode, and they'll have another opportunity to do so. Where will they attack today? They will go to the northeast, which will put them up against this team, this eagle orange-looking team. Should we go to Mississippi State? That is UT Martin. So UT Martin against Mississippi State. Mississippi State will have the... Let me make sure I'm recording. I want to not forget I'm recording. So Mississippi State will have a chance to expand north. So Mississippi State going against UT Riverside. Or UT Riverside. Sorry. UT Martin, that's what it is. And here they are. Home court advantage for Mississippi State. And Mississippi State picks up the 8-point win. It was closer than what I thought. It's a close back and forth game, but in fact, UT Martin actually had a lead at one point, but Mississippi State was able to retake it. So Mississippi State will continue their imperialism march. They are continuing up north, and this is another good pickup of land for them. But it continues to make them more vulnerable than before. This is not, so they will have to be careful that they don't lose this land. But Mississippi State is becoming a powerhouse now in terms of land gained. They have probably, I believe, they have taken the most land that they've via victories. Because they have not, obviously, they haven't lost, but they are doing some work. So far, Mississippi State, while they may be the favorites now, they still have a tough path to go because they still have Alabama. They have a ton of teams in range. And now St. Louis is in range to attack/defend. So you see how that goes. But UT Martin, Skyhawks, you guys are eliminated from Imperialism. So let's continue on. And we will have Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. I don't need to look up where those are because I already know where they are. Here they are, right here, the Florida Gulf Coast University. So there's only a few places they can go based off of the logo. They cannot go southwest. Well, they can. No, they can't really. So we will see where they go based off the arrow. They will be attacking northwest, which, based on their logo, will be the USF Bulls. So this will be interesting. Florida Gulf Coast University going up against the Bulls. Against the USF Bulls. Looks like they're not in the U, so it might be just South Florida. So I have to find South Florida. They should be in here. South Florida, here we go. Home court advantage for Florida Gulf Coast. Who picked up the win? It was South Florida by 2. Another close game. But Florida Gulf Coast, they attacked the wrong team as it was close. South Florida kept regaining it, then losing it, but then they eventually retook it at the end. It might have been a last-second bucket. But let me sure it's USF. Yeah, USF will pick up the land over Florida Gulf Coast University. Remember, Chris Sale went to here. He was a former White Sox pitcher, World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox. Congratulations to USF. They knock out the Eagles, and they move on to potentially gain some more land. So, congratulations once again to USF. There's still so many schools that have not played. That's the coolest thing about Imperialism. The coolest thing is learning about new teams. It's the coolest thing as USF expands. Florida Gulf Coast will be eliminated from the wheel. So now the next spin is going to have us on the Georgetown Hoyas. That is another Big East team. I want to see if I can find them on the map myself. I don't know why I can't find them. I might not be looking in the right spot either. I know they're a Big East team, but Georgetown. Definitely the Hoyas. They're just south of Howard in Maryland. Maryland is eliminated. It's going to be down here. Looks like Georgetown is not in here. Oh, this might be them. Because there's Howard. Yeah, Georgetown. So that's Georgetown. They're right next to them. That is a small piece of land that they have. But anyway, this is Georgetown. Where will they be going? They will be going to the northeast, attacking to the northeast, which it's going to be part of Howard. So Howard against Georgetown. Georgetown will get the home court advantage, not Fisher College. Georgetown and Howard will have to defend their land. Howard, home court advantage, yes. Submit. And Georgetown, a convincing 20-point victory over the Bison. Bison did lead at one point, but a couple times, but they were unable to. Actually, a couple times like that. They were unable to defend their land successfully, so the Georgetown Hoyas will get a tiny piece of land, but it is something. See if I can click it correctly. There we go. Which I think they already expanded. So, apologies to Howard. You are eliminated from Imperialism. Doing my best not to color the Georgetown logo. And again, if this is not Georgetown, and I apologize, it's just what I feel like it is. I feel like it is. But get rid of Howard, the Bison. Howard is not on here, so we will just continue on. And St. Francis Brooklyn, the Terriers. That is going to be up there. I have a feeling this is them, St. Francis Brooklyn, but we will have to look up where they're at. Or is it just SNST? Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. That's this. Brent Brooklyn. Here we go. Oh, that's a different logo than what I thought. I don't think their logo is on here. No, let me make sure I'm still recording because I almost hit the end recording button. I am. I just want to see and make sure that there are no other. Where the other team is. So they're actually near St. John's. They're actually south of Iona. But it does not look like their logo is on here. So that'll just be a free team to go off the map. Or off the wheel. And we will continue on. And we got a Chicago State Cougars matchup. We know where that's at. That is in Illinois, obviously. They have some teams around them. They have Purdue, they have Valpo, they have USC, they have Illinois State, and then they have the Huskies and NIU. This could be an interesting matchup for Chicago State. Where will they be attacking? They were not a good team this year, so I don't expect them to win. They will attack the Southwest, which will be, from center logo, will be Illinois State. So Illinois State will be attacking Chicago State. Chicago State will get home court advantage. I don't think that'll make a difference, but Illinois State, we'll see if they can defend their land. Chicago State against Illinois State. It goes to Chicago State. They do defend they do attack successfully. Convincing win. Was never really close. And Chicago State, this could be a small upset. They will pick up a decent chunk of Illinois land. So my fault to Chicago State for doubting them. This is an interesting chunk of Illinois State that they get. So it's slightly connecting, but it is connecting nonetheless. And some days you're going to have that. But again, we're going based off of the logo, not where the land is at. So really, Chicago State's actually pretty vulnerable now after picking up that win, because now they could have St. Louis attack them. And that could be one of the most interesting pieces of land on this map. And I will at times adjust the logo so it makes it easier for me to decide, but we'll keep Chicago State logo normal as it is. Now, if they can somehow beat Purdue, we'll probably put it in the center of Illinois. But right now, it's going to stay where it's at. That's a big win for Chicago State. Again, their landmass now is a little bit weird. It's not the best formation, but they will move on as Illinois State will be eliminated from the tournament. But Illinois State isn't even on here, so it is what it is. And we're going back to Florida for the Gators. So this is a big potential matchup here. Florida, they have a few small schools. They have Florida State that they can hit. They could hit Troy. They can't hit Troy. They could hit USF, who just worked hard to pick up their first win. We will see where they will go. The arrow says Northwest, which it's going to be Florida State, I believe. Yeah, that's Northwest. So that's going to be Florida State against Florida. This is a rivalry game. It was very close to Troy, but if it was further west and north, then it would have been Troy. But it is Northwest, further north than west. So Florida State against Florida, or Florida against Florida State. Don't want to mix up the home court advantage. Florida against Florida State. Florida does get the home court advantage, which could be huge for them. It's a 3-point win by Florida. It was once again a last-second basket. It was pretty close all throughout. At one point, it was a 10-point lead. Instead of 10-point lead, but Florida was able to come back and dethrone FSU for the first matchup. In their first attempt. Good win by Florida to defend or to expand their land. Florida State is probably upset because they had an opportunity to defend their land, but they did not defend their land successfully, which means that they are eliminated from the tournament and from Imperialism. I don't think Florida State was the best team this year in real life either. Same thing with Florida. I think Florida might be an NIT school or NIT team. I'm doing my best not to delete any of Troy land, but do my best. So this is an interesting part about Florida now. They get this little jut in that kind of splits up Troy's land. So Troy isn't that vulnerable, but there could be some problems with them. But Florida State is gone. Florida picks up the rivalry win. We will probably get about 3 or 4 more teams in this episode before we will call it. It's a big win for Florida. Florida State fans, I apologize, but you are out of the tournament. Troy fans, you gotta start to worry, I feel like, because you could potentially be having to play Florida if you get the wrong draw. So there's Florida. I think if they expand further north, we'll probably change the logo somewhere up here, but They haven't. So Florida moves on. Florida State is gone. Let's get rid of Florida State. Sorry, wrong way. Florida State. Let's get rid of Florida State. I guess Florida State's not on here either. I'm very surprised Florida State's not on here. Next team, though, is North Carolina A&T Aggies. I think they've already been eliminated, but I'll have to check again. Let me see. I think they got eliminated by Appalachian State. North Carolina A&T Aggies. Let me just see. I don't think they're on here next to UC. They're west of Elon. They're west of Duke. Yeah, looks like Wake Forest took care of them. So unfortunately for North Carolina A&T, you got some fame, but you are out of the tournaments. You have been out of the tournament. And Iowa State, no, Iona is going to get another chance to expand their land. They've already expanded their land. I don't think in this episode, but they've already had some expansion done already. So this F team, this is their land right here. This maroon is their land. And this is also their land. So Iona just controls this land, I believe. Which I could be wrong. Hoping one of the two eliminates each other so I don't have to worry about that miscommunication. But they're going northwest, which is going to put them against Army West Point. So Iona against Army. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know who is considered the favorites. I know the Army itself would be good, but Army... Iona against Army. That took a while. And it was a blowout by Iona. 22-point victory for the Gales. The Gales, they will successfully expand their land. Again, Rick Pitino's squad is doing a nice job in this tournament. They are slowly expanding. Again, I don't know who... Oops, did not mean to cover up their logo. I don't know. I can't remember exactly who controls what. Well, considering part of the F logo is partially drawn on, I'm going to consider that Iona's land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a logo or a border from Fordham up to Iona. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna block it off like this. So Fordham, or not Fordham, but this F team, they control this land and this land, and Iona controls the rest around it. That's what I'm gonna consider. I apologize if that's not how it was last time, but it's gonna be how it is this time. So again, apologies. Looks like Army isn't even on here still, but that is how it's going to be. So the next team to spin is going to be New Orleans Privateers. Which they are right here. I see the logo right now. So they can only go, if we're basing off the logo, they can attack South Alabama. It gets a little bit weird with Southern Mississippi. Southern Miss. They can't attack LSU. What I will do, if it is slightly northwest, now consider that Southern Miss. North, this is going to be out South Alabama. Northeast, South Alabama. Southwest, that's going to be Tulane. And then more northwest than north. So if it's more north than west, it's going to be considered Southern Miss. If it's more west and north, is going to be considered LSU. So that's what I'm going to do for this spin. And we don't have to worry about that. It's to the northeast, which is going to be USA, University of South Alabama. So New Orleans Privateers against South Alabama. New Orleans against South Alabama. I don't know if they're going to have the U out in front of it. I'm going to go straight to the S's and see if they have them there. South Alabama. They do. So South Alabama against New Orleans Privateers. And this win will go to South Alabama by 3. It was a close game. Looks like South Alabama literally hit a last-second shot to get the win. New Orleans was leading the entire way, and then they kind of went back and forth, and then South Alabama started leading pretty big. And New Orleans came back, but then South Alabama hit that last-second shot. So the Jaguars will expand their land onto New Orleans, onto the New Orleans land. Make this slightly bigger so I can expand it successfully. So apologies to the New Orleans Privateers fans, but your run is done just like that. A little weird land piece going on right here, but it is some land for South Alabama to expand onto. There we go. And it'll slightly expand it so I can fill it in properly. There we go. And we will do 2 more teams. Or two more Imperialism advances. But first we gotta select this logo. Delete it. And then we gotta basically get white and then gotta get whites. We gotta just kind of draw over this part. Get rid of it. A little bit awkward, but we're gonna get rid of it. There we go. The South Alabama expands. New Orleans will be gone. The Privateers are done, and we will continue our spinning. We will land on the Colorado State Rams, so we're going back out west. Small area for Colorado State, but they have some teams that they could be going up against, including BYU. They could go up against Wyoming for a big chunk of land. So we will see where the Colorado State Rams will be playing, and they will be going to the south, directly to the south, which will be BYU. So Colorado, again, an awkward land piece, but it is BYU going up against Colorado State. But Colorado State does get the home court advantage because they are the attacking team. That is my rules. Colorado State against BYU. BYU should be up in the B's. Yep, right here. Will BYU be able to defend their giant piece of land, or will Colorado State pull off a land upset? And it is Colorado State pulling off a land upset. After probably about 10 minutes left in the second half, they just controlled the game. After that, it was actually BYU controlling it, and then all of a sudden they stumped, and then bang. Colorado State picked it up, an 8-point victory. 16 simulations had Colorado State winning 14 at a time. So Colorado State got the favor, and they will get a decent chunk of land with their recent victory. So we will do one more expansion team. See who will move on, but congratulations to Colorado State and apologies to BYU. Your run comes to an end. I think you only expanded once. It was against Colorado, the Buffaloes. I believe so. So you only expanded once and your land is done. This would be so cool to see this being played in real life. I know the NCAA tournament is basically a similar thing, but not the exact same thing. It would be so cool to see this happen in real life. One thing to note, Colorado is now touching Texas Tech, but the logo where it's positioned is impossible to touch Texas Tech. Actually, not really. Honestly, if you look at it, you can still pick up an opportunity going like that. Now we'll expand this so we can fill in BYU's land with Colorado State land. I bet you this is what Colorado State wanted to see. Green in Colorado. The Bighorns. There we go. And there we go. So we're well past an hour. We're a couple minutes past an hour, but I'm still going to get one more simulation in. First, we do got to get rid of BYU, if they are even on here. And they are. So BYU is done. Our last spin of episode number 6 is going to be the Utah Tech Trailblazers, which might not be a team. There's Weber State, but I don't see Utah Tech. I'll look it up on here. Unless they were already eliminated. Utah Tech University. Yeah, it's a Buffalo. It's just north of Arizona, which Northern Arizona controls that area. So we're going to have to respin, and we're going to get rid of that team. Utah Tech. And the spin is Queens Royals. Interesting. I've never heard of this team before. Queens, New York. That makes sense. They're not in New York though. I mixed that up. They're south of Charlotte and Davidson. If we find Davidson on the map, where's Davidson? Where's Davidson? I don't see Queens. Because this is PC, that's not it. If you look on here, where's PC at? That's Presbyterian. Charlotte's not on here either. Charlotte is on here, but Winthrop is in that area, so looks like Queens is not a team either that we're going to be able to use. So we will also get rid of Queens. We will continue our spin. And we get Appalachian State. So we finally get a team that we can use. And this is actually pretty big for Appalachian State. They have a decent amount of land that they need to defend while attacking. And they will attack to the southwest, which from the logo, that'll be this team, which I need to figure out which team that is. This. Appalachian State. Where is Appalachian State at? Okay, I'm just going to have to wonder where Appalachian State is. Can't believe I have to. Oh, so that's UNC Asheville. Okay. So that is UNC Asheville that they're going to be going up against. UNC Asheville is in the tournament. So Appalachian State against UNC Asheville to end our episode today. Appalachian State against UNC Asheville. Hopefully UNC Asheville's on here. Otherwise, we're going to have to look at the records, and that'll be a disappointing end to the episode. UNC Asheville is on here, so we get to get a simulation home court advantage for Appalachian State. And your winner in the last game is Appalachian State by 10. It was a close game, but UNC Asheville just did not score for the last probably 2 or 3 minutes. Congratulations to Appalachian State. They take control of a decent little part of land over UNC Asheville. I'm going to have to extend this border down there. That way I don't mix anything up. So here we go. There we go. Nice little area of land for Appalachian State to expand to. They are now touching Tennessee, though, so Tennessee does pick up. Does get a good spin. Oh! This is really gonna hurt Appalachian State, especially if Tennessee plays them. Wow, I feel bad for Appalachian State, but they're gonna have to defend it if they get landed on. It's the rules of imperialism. And yeah, there we go. So that is going to conclude this episode, everyone. Episode number 6. We got some expansions. We still have some expansions. Mississippi State, I believe, is the winner of this video. They took over Ole Miss's land. Chicago State did make some moves. Northwestern, my team, made some moves, but we still have a ton of land. South Dakota or San Diego State did pick up a lot of moves. But we still have a ton of land to go through. Still, tons of teams have yet to play in this series. We've done a lot on the South, the Northeast, and the West, but we really haven't done too much of the Midwest states. We have had some Florida expansion, USF expanding, Florida beating Florida State. Alabama and Mississippi State are like touching and similar land mass, land picture motion. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video of NCAA Basketball Imperialism. Once again, make sure to check out NattyKash's channel. He inspired me to do this series. I'm doing it pretty similar wise. I'm using the exact same wheel and exact same websites that he used, but I'm also I also have less teams, and I have a different version. I believe he does the home team being the one that's trying to defend their land. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This was probably the longest video of the series. Hope you guys stay safe. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and peace.